What's up, Starcraft fans? Today we're doing the tier list for Off One Mind on Rifts to Core Hall. Brian, let's hear the mutation.
Rifts to Core Hall is the map where we have to destroy 10 void shards before timer runs out. Each set of void shards we destroy adds time and reveals the next set. Boombots spawn from enemy buildings. They nuke every time they touch one of your guys. To defuse them, one player must enter a code that only the other player can see. Supply is provided by each player for both players combined.
Yes.
Half of all units are immune to one player, the other half is immune to the other player.
Okay, so boombots, sharing is caring, polarity all require some form of explanation. Boombots, only one player can see the code, only the other player can enter the code. So both players must constantly communicate to enter the code because only one player can see it, and that player must tell the other player what the code is so the other player can click the bot, enter the 4-digit code, and then defuse the bot. I think for lower difficulties it's fewer digits, but I haven't tested it. For sharing is caring, so you have two commanders. The numerator of the supply, meaning if player 1 consumes 12 supply, the other player consumes 13 supply. For each of them, the numerator is 25 supply. So both of them must provide over 25 supply worth of depots, overlords, pylons, or whatever before they can make more stuff. Supply consumed is added, supply provided is individual. And finally, polarity, half of everything is immune to one player, so no matter what you do to it, you can't damage it. Only your ally can damage it, and vice versa. There are some stuff that, well, half of the stuff your ally can't damage, so you have to help them out the way they help you out. Anyway, we have Twotuuu and Eveling in the call list today. How are you guys?
Great.
Okay.
Old and hungry.
Eveling, how will we rank the commanders this week?
So sharing is caring is definitely a major thing. Polarity is a major thing. Boombots is boombots. Sharing is caring is going to affect how much supply you can have on the field. So if you have a commander that can do a lot with very low supply, you'll definitely get higher marks. Polarity definitely demands that you have sustainability. So anyone who can stay out on the field, take hits for quite a while will get higher marks.
Okay, how about you, Twotuuu?
So I would say just I mentioned the comments for the previous one, but if you're typing the numbers, whatever rank you see here should be dropped 1. If you're typing numbers instead of saying them, because it's extra work.
Voice chat is
So if
S
you're voice chat, this is assuming voice chat. If you don't have voice chat, then everyone just goes down
drops
1.
a tier. That's a fair assumption. I should have had that instead. Anyway, let's begin. Abathur, where do we have him?
So Abathur, he doesn't need much supply to function, so that's great. He only needs like his 6 ultimate evolutions and then like a few queens and vipers and probably you can also turn off a toxic nest so that you have vision of boombots that come toward you, because I think if you don't turn it off, the toxic nest will try to damage the boombot, but it won't do anything. But if you turn off the autocast, then you can see the boombots sooner, and that's good. I guess it's kind of good on this map that boombots really just come from like 3 angles, basically. The right side, the top face, and then the left side. So you can kind of like put toxic nests along those paths and see them before. And Abathur can stall with vipers, and he can deep tunnel to where his ally is if that's necessary. I put him in B.
Okay, how about you, Eveling?
I have Abathur S to A, Prestige 2. He can do all that. He doesn't need a lot of supply. He can deep tunnel to get... So something that I forgot to mention is if he can get vision of the boombots sooner, that helps out a lot because that gives you a more ample time to communicate to your ally to get the code in. And so he can do that with his Brutalist if he gets him out early. And just overall, he has sustain, so he kind of hits most of the marks for me. But I definitely can definitely understand this is polarity, so I'm kind of a little more generous, but S might be way too generous for or having any S's in this might be too generous.
Okay, what do you think, Twotuuu?
Because it's polarity, I don't think that you can like easily do this at all with anyone. So I don't have any S's.
Same.
And the ones I have in A, like they're like really good on this map. So yeah. Oh yeah. Note that I know that rushing Brutalist is not so important, but you can't get it. You can't really lure Brutalists this map with Polarity there because they're gonna waste your Toxic Nest and your ally has to kill the enemies.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's so the opening is gonna be slower. You don't need the Brutalists, but like his power will come online a little slower, so that's a little bit bad.
What
It's
do you
gonna
think?
be a little bit painful.
What do you think, Evoling?
A to B, I'm perfectly fine with. His Brutalist, I kind of feel if you can get it out. If you have an ally that can start killing things early, that definitely helps out a lot. That way you can deep tunnel the Brutalist all the way to. If you know the map well, you can deep tunnel Brutalist to the safe area, especially that one choke point where things start coming out, and hopefully, or actually 2 choke points, and you can get vision of the boombot
Bombats.
early.
How many commanders with sharing as care can really push out early? Because remember, a lot of commanders need to make like 2 depots, 2 overlords, 2 pylons before I can get anything going because of sharing is caring.
Well, a few
yeah.
come to mind. Abathur, Arcturus does have ability to kind of have some presence. Artanis has presence. Dehaka, Karax.
Yeah, less than
Who
half.
else?
Yeah,
less than half, but not a sad amount.
Yeah, maybe Nova and Zeratul if they really push it. But yeah, it's kind of rough. Anyway, is B okay for both of you guys?
Yes.
Yeah, B's fine.
All right, let's move on. Alarak, where do we have him?
Alarak, I have from A to B. The mothership takes up no supply, so that's a huge power boost. You get it out, and yeah, you can kind of start going. It's real tanky, so that helps you to get a foothold until ally can start taking care of their units. But definitely don't keep it. If you can avoid getting hit, then avoid getting hit and taking unnecessary damage. But yeah, and the other nice thing is with the mothership, you have the ability to kind of skirt around Rifts of Korhal and start taking out the objectives. So if you and your ally can, it's good to skirt around and not go through all those extra defenses and just focus on an objective, get it done early. Thus you have less boombots to deal with. Of course, the other aspect is if you full clear, then that stops the boombots.
I mean, if you can full clear, why not just destroy the void shards?
Exactly.
Right. Anyway, what do you think, Twotuuu?
Oh, so because of Polarity, I don't value sniping strategies very highly, except like extremely safe sniping strategies such as ESOs. But regular sniping strategies aren't as good because you have to deal with like the enemies, and if your ally is not a sniping strategy commander, then you're gonna be like chased out often, and you can't like you want to kill your sliver, but they have to deal with the enemy there, and you can't like take hits. Your mothership can't do that, so I don't value that very highly this time. And mothership is good, but Alarak himself needs a lot of supply in order to do a lot of damage with Empower Me and stuff. And he doesn't have anything good for boombots, like to spot them or anything. And also he's usually short on minerals because of supplicants and stuff if you do that route, if you go that route. So you're also going to need like extra pylons because your ally is taking up your supply too.
Yes.
So I put him in C.
Yeah, I also have him in C. What do you think, Evoling?
Yeah, that's the aspect of him not being able to get vision earlier on a boombot it definitely hurts him. So yeah, I'll definitely go from A to B to B to C. So let's go C.
All right, that's fair. Arcturus, where do we have him?
So you should not build ESOs at ESO Island because boombots will walk there. Because every time when the ESO fires, Amon gets vision of its location for some reason. So if you fire from ESO Island, then you should be ready for like the northern base to walk to your ESO Island. You should be ready, and that's like a very short distance. You can put it at the left natural and you can clear pretty much everything. I think P1 is better because you can gas everything and you can like kill all your enemies in the last space using the gas, and you can stun them for your ally. Eventually you'll probably get like an army and charge in or something. But yeah, I put him in A.
Okay, how about you, Evoling?
Yeah, for me, I had originally have Arcturus S to A. Rift of Korhal is pretty much his map either way. It's like based around the lore, and also Arcturus just owns that map. ESO Island, I mean, I've last time this mutation came around, I went for ESO Island. Usually I build toward the left side, so that way it gives a little more leeway. And then as we start kind of clearing more, I do at one point focus the ESOs on that base toward the right of the ESO Island, just to kind of clear some things and less chance of a boom bot appearing there. But I mean, it's boom bots. If you gotta have an ally that's kind of paying attention to that. So if they're paying attention to it, if you see the B boom bot come out, focus the ESOs on there. It'll get vision of it, and then just start punching the codes as soon as possible.
Okay.
Definitely recommend number 1. You can go number 3 if you like. I mean, having the nuke definitely helps like speeding up the process too. But the one thing that kind of hurts Arcturus is the amount of supply that he needs.
Yeah.
So you need to be wary about that. Just overbuild the supply. Hopefully you don't have one of those 100 supply commanders where it kind of starts muscling into their mojo. But ultimately, all you really need is maybe about 8 to 9 ESOs to do the map. So just be considerate to your ally, kind of figure out what kind of supply is necessary, and just try to get away with the minimal and not overdo the ESOs.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say that I would take points away from Arcturus because he goes into supply so hard that he might lock his ally out, especially if he has a Zeratul or a Nova or a Zagara ally. But do
Tychus.
both of you agree with A?
Yes.
I agree with A.
Tychus, I think I wouldn't put too much stock in taking points away because Tychus only has outer supply. I think as long as you have the 3 outlaws, you should be fine. But
he can get away with
that's
2.
for later. That's for later. Anyway, Arcturus and A, right?
Thanks. Yeah. You can also gas the attack waves, right? So that they don't move, even though you don't kill them.
Yeah, that's true.
And it affects the non-polarized units, so you can stop the whole attack wave if you land it just right.
Yes.
It's the timing is 58, so it's the same spot every time. So once you might miss it once, and then from then on you can see the ramp, and then at 58 before the attack wave, you gas that spot and it'll hit them.
Okay, so
what was it? Shoot, is it 58 or 55?
58.
I forgot. I think it's 55. It's 55.
That was 58.
I think it's
Yes, it should be
55,
50.
and it lands
Because it's 5
at 58.
seconds. It's no, because Oblivion Express is 58. So Rifts to Core Hall is 55.
Oh, I thought it was the same
Should be
for each
55.
map. Anyway, okay, let's put him in A. Artanis, where do we have him?
Artanis, for me, I have him similar to Alarak. B to C. He has a little better tools to get earlier vision. He can sneak probes around and put them at like unpathable areas, and you'll be able to spot the observers and see the boom bots a little earlier. Archon dudes don't take up any supply, and orbital will pretty much clear a shard as long as you make sure it's your polarity. So you can kind of do some shard sniping with Artanis. If a boombot is getting close to your ally, pop a shield overcharge. It might give you enough time to punch in the code.
Okay, letter.
Recommending number 3, of course. I said B to C.
B to C. How about you two?
So Artanis on this map has to snipe with Tempests because going up the middle takes way too long. So if your ally is not a sniping guy, I guess you could go with him, but it's much, much slower. Good thing you have solar bombardment, I suppose. You can bombard one of the 3 like top left ones, and for the right side, like in the last base, you can bombard like the back one if it's yours. His army needs a lot of supply. Like he doesn't need to build pylons, right? But he still needs a lot of supply to function. So if your ally also is using a lot of supply, then you're not going to have a very big army. You can use, in that case, you're gonna save like Archon dudes, but like I guess that means like you're pretty much using Archon dudes for every attack wave, which every 3 minutes, and you get about 50 energy in 3 minutes. So that means you won't have much energy to use for clearing bases. So I guess you just have to like push with your allies slowly, with your limited number of Tempests. Yeah, I put him in D, but I think being able to spot and snipe shards reliably makes it like a C-ish, I guess. Also, Archon dudes are good, so C-ish.
Yeah, I also had him in C actually, so yeah, C is fine. Third prestige is pretty much unanimous. Dehaka, where do we have him?
So Dehaka is another supply-hungry commander, but his pack leaders don't need supply, so that's good. I guess you're gonna snipe. It's like ESOs, except that you use creeper hosts, and you don't need that many. So especially since your pack leaders will be used for like defense, for attack waves pretty much. And then once you have control, you can park creeper hosts at ESO Island and then shoot whatever's yours. So I put him in B.
How about you, Eveling?
Yeah, I have Dehaka from A to B. Prestige number 2, the pack leaders don't take up supply and they hit hard. So they'll pretty much clear a whole area of at least your polarization. And what your ally is going to do about that is up to good luck with that. But yeah, pretty much as we said, the only thing that hurts him a little bit is just the vision part. But as long as you can get creeper hosts going and park them at ESO Island or any other place to kind of get that long range vision for it, should be fine.
Okay, so that rounds out to B. So are we okay with B?
Yep.
Okay. Prestige, I think second prestige. So you have stronger pack leaders.
Second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phoenix, where do we have him?
Phoenix, I have him at kind of the same as Alarak, Artanis. He has like good tools to kind of almost brute force it. He doesn't have to commit too much. But the thing is, to have Angry Zealot, you still have to have about 9 shells ready on the, or what is it, 7
Ready to
shells
rumble.
ready on the back line. Yeah, and then you're not gonna just want to do just Caldalis. You're probably gonna want Caldalis and Talus working in tandem at least. So you're gonna have to dip into supply, but it's manageable. I have him for B to C, Prestige 2.
B to C. How about you, Twotuuu?
So Phoenix, like normally for this map, he would shard snipe from the back for like the third area and then the fourth area as well. But it's really hard with Polarity, so you're pretty much gonna have to go from the front. And you can't do it. Your ally should join you, I suppose. But Phoenix is pretty supply heavy. You need a lot of shells. Like you need 7 shells for max power, but Caldalis is gonna die. So you probably want like 10 shells all the time to make sure he's always at max power.
Okay.
I don't know if you can like really afford all 6 champions because they take up so much supply
Do you
and all
need
the
all
shells. So
cannot.
you definitely cannot.
You can-
Like you probably can't with sharing is caring, unless your allies like Karax or something. But like assuming a regular ally with regular stuff, you're probably
Kinda
not going to be
thinking
able
you
to
only
get
need
that much.
2 to 3 because you only
Chests.
need to destroy half the stuff anyway.
Yeah, you might need Mojo or Air.
That's true.
Yep.
So 4.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
Usually-
Talus is okay.
It's a lot.
Every
But
time
yeah,
sharing is carrying has come out, it's just been Talus, Caldalis, and Mojo for me. That
Yeah,
just I
I
can push the
think
supply
C.
on.
C.
C. He has observers, so those help or boom bots.
Okay, so pretty much the same boat as the Protoss commander. So are we all okay with C?
Yeah.
Yep.
Prestige. What do you recommend?
Second.
Second. How about the first one? So you always have the Dragoon suit, or at least the Praetor suit for the attack waves.
You also always have the Arbiter suit for its
Yeah,
stasis.
Arbiter suit.
You can stasis non-polarized stuff. Like
Yeah.
almost
Would that be okay?
repeatedly.
Or second still better?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it can work. If you're going P1, you might go carriers instead, but carrier zealot. But I think like P1. I mean, I think it's fine. It works.
All right, so
I think P1 would be better if you're trying to snipe the shards. P2 would be more if you're just trying to clear the path, so it's more conducive for allies that can't snipe shards.
okay. All right, so we're all saying C, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Han and Horner, where do we have them?
Han and Horner. Ugh. Their supply goes into units that aren't even that good. So it's like you have strike fighters, which they take up a little bit of supply. Mag mines don't, and I guess you're pretty much gonna have to snipe.
Yes.
If you go from the front door, it's fine, but your army's really weak. And if you're
Yes.
not gonna have a lot of supply, your army's gonna be small too. And if you're wasting all your cooldowns, then yeah. And if your timing is wrong, then a boombot shows up because man, strike fighters are good for getting like a peek at the boombot numbers a bit sooner. So that's useful, but that's about it. Oh, and I guess you can stuff mag mines in the same spot, so you can like kill the attack waves
If it's air,
every time. But
if it's a pure air wave, you need to know also that they sometimes go over unpathable terrain.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I put Han Horner in D.
How about you, Eveling?
For me, I have Han and Hoarder on from B to C because I'm not sending in Han units. I'm going for Horner units, so I'm recommending Prestige 2. You want to have durable stuff, and remember, most of Horner units are regen on their own. I say most because Strike Fighter are also considered Horner units, but they don't really regen. Yeah, you want to compact your supply, make them as supply efficient as possible. So yeah, just go straight for just start pumping out your Horner units as soon as possible, and go for shard sniping. Every time you make a set of Horner units, then put down a strike fighter platform after that. It's good to have so that you can take down static defenses, especially if you're using wraiths to do any sniping. You can use Vikings too. The range is pretty damn good, and the wild missiles do a lot of damage for what it's worth. And then after that, hopefully you'll be able to tech up and get at least a BC. I mean, a BC and either a pair of wraiths, a pair of Vikings can whittle down the shark pretty good and take care of it. I mean, one BC is 10 supply,
8 supply each.
2 Vikings, yeah. So it's on par, about the same how much supply you'd be taking as Phoenix. So that's why I have him in them in the same place as all the other protest commanders.
Okay.
So far that we covered.
What do you think about that, Twotuuu?
I think Magmines hitting Polarity units really sucks, because then you're gonna not deal as much damage as you hope. Then strike fighters, I guess you're gonna use it to assist with taking out waves, and then you're basically using a hero commander with hero units, except your units are very weak, because you can't have too many. You can't really get too many of them. So I don't know if they're really a good choice. Even if it's P2, I don't know if they're that great. I don't know if P3 would even be better, but
no, P3 is horrible.
No,
please no.
Probably not.
Okay, so
even if it's
letter.
I still put them in D.
Still
I put
D?
them in D.
What do you think, Eveling?
I don't think they're as bad as D. Again, if you're saying P3 or P1, okay, yeah, then I agree with D. P2, I think usually, even if without Polarity or Boombots, I mean, on B+1, I usually finish a Rifts to Corral with P2 with maybe 1 or 2. I can finish it with 1 or 2 BCs and a pair of Wraiths or a pair of Vikings.
What do you guys think about being an exclusively sniping commander using airstrikes? Because again, I know that if you're on your own as Han and Horner, it's very hard to snipe all the. I've done this, by the way. I've sniped all the rifts, or the void shards on Rifts to Corral using only airstrikes, and that's doable. But if there's Polarity,
it's a lot of supply.
Yeah, and then I didn't use the third one. I used the first one. I used the first prestige alongside top bars. But here's the thing: if there's Polarity, you don't need to destroy all the void shards. You only need to destroy half of them, and your ally is tasked with destroying the other half. So if your ally is also a sniping commander, it might be more doable. The only difficult thing is you have to time the airstrikes so that every essentially 10 seconds you're launching an airstrike. So the last digit. You have to look at the last digit of the clock of the in-game timer and launch an airstrike every time the clock hits that digit. And then you also have to watch for the boombots who are roaming the map and type in the code to your ally or yourself while doing that timing thing with your airstrikes. I think it's doable.
If you do that, you might as well just make a BC and sit next to it.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's one thing I'm thinking of that's possible with Han and Horner. I'm not sure if that's C star or still D. It's really difficult to do.
Yeah,
so
it's simpler just to plop a BC down.
Sniping strat is not that good because if your ally's also sniper, you need a way to get rid of those units that are in the way. So I guess you still need some air units.
That's why I'm saying it's not that good, because you're also relying on a sniper ally.
Yeah.
So
depending on who that sniper ally is, if it's a sniper ally that I'm not gonna jump ahead, but let's say they only need vision to do what they need to do and they can just sit back.
You know who provides vision? Anyway.
So let's move on.
You know what? I think we'll put Hara and Horner in D for now because there's no one else in D. We'll see later on if they belong in a higher tier. We'll put them in D for now. So just move the conversation. Karax, where do we have him?
Karax, being generous, I have him from SA. I mean, he theoretically can do what he needs to do without needing supply. He has observers. It's just you just have to sneak your stuff in. So that takes a little bit, but I mean, once you get all your observers set up, you'll be able to see boombots. You'll be able to see what you need to hit for the objectives. So You can go for 1, but suggest Prestige 3.
Okay. What do you think, Twotuuu?
If your ally needs supply, then you can just go pure cannons plus probes and observers. If your ally is also like a low supply commander, then you can make mirages, and like once you clear the enemies near a shard, you just kind of sit your mirages there, and they get free shots. And
Okay.
yeah, I put Karax in A.
Okay, so both of you have him in A. I actually have him in B. Let's put him in A. Prestige-wise, we want the third one, right? Soul Right Celestial.
Third one.
Cool.
Yes.
Kerrigan, where do we have him?
Kerrigan. So Kerrigan on Rifts to Core Hall. Oh man. Slow opening means that I guess you can throw down spines, and you only need to kill half of them. So yeah, because your ally needs to do something for the other half. So I guess it's not that bad. But once she's online, she's really good. Omega Worm's good. And she can, if you're using P0, you can jump from ESO Island to the third area and just immobilization wave and kill pretty much everything that's yours.
Yeah.
So that's really strong. And you can do that for the last phase as well. So very strong.
Very strong.
And she doesn't need that much supply because hero only is pretty powerful, and just a few queens for healing. I put her in B.
Okay. What do you think, Eviling?
Yeah, I have Kerrigan from B to C. I'd recommend Prestige 2 because that's what she's more well known for, hero soloing. But yeah, P0 is also definitely a viable option just to have that stronger immobilization wave.
Nova, where do we have him?
Nova, I recommend Prestige 3, A to B. She can go in unhindered, start dropping sabotage drones, and start clearing out areas that she needs to clear out. And the fact that she can walk up
Clear
the
out
base
half the
unhindered.
areas.
Afterwards, once you have vision to start clearing out the shards that are yours, realistically, you only need 2 liberators, A to B.
A to B. How about you, Twotuuu?
She's a 100 supply commander, right? So she can get blocked. Yeah, P3 probably best here. You only need 2 liberators to take out a shard once you get rid of the enemies nearby. For defense, I guess you just have whatever, like Marines, tanks, Goliaths, Ravens, whatever is left that you can build. And you probably will, since you have, you're not going to be able to make so many units, you're probably going to have a lot of money for airstrikes. So you can probably just airstrike every wave that comes, and you kill most of your stuff. And they follow the same path. So yeah, so you just airstrike and kill most of whatever your stuff you're responsible for.
Okay.
I can see her in B or A. I put her in B, but I don't.
So both of you have her in
I'm
A
not
or B.
Yeah.
So what is it, A or B?
Let's go with B. Let's be on the side of being conservative and just go
Let's
with B.
be conservative.
B.
Okay. Nova. Raynor, where do we? Oh wait, Prestige third one, right? No, Raynor, where do we have him?
Raynor's top bar is not good. Like you can't just use a top bar and take out a sliver. So or shard. So that's not good. P3 is extremely slow. So like if you don't use your top bars right, then you're gonna get wrecked by attack waves. Because yeah, you need to. I don't think you'll get wrecked by the encampments. Not at least not the first one. I don't know which prestige is better. I guess still P3, but you need to be good with your top bar usage. Scan, I guess you can scan to see the since you can't make that many units, you probably have a lot of supply and you can scan. I put Raynor in D.
D. How about you, Eviling?
I would have put Raynor from C to D, but he has scans, so as soon as the boombot comes out, that is actually pretty helpful to get early vision as it comes out, wherever it is, and then you can type in the code earlier.
Seems expensive. Why not just drop a Marine?
It might not, the Marine will come out, it'll pretty much instantly die. That might not be enough time for whoever has to enter in the code to click on it and start going at it. So
I'll drop it in a dead zone.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, if that's the case, then C to D. But yeah, Prestige 3, I'd definitely recommend that, and just go for battle cruisers. Remember, it's Polarity. You need to have something beefy. And then you can do shard sniping. Remember, you can drop the BCs where you want them. So if it's like on the left shard set, there's that whole dead zone to the middle shard. Just start dropping your BCs there and have it wail away pretty much unhindered, and you'd be able, as long as that shard is yours, you'd be able to take care of it.
Polarity enemies. Yeah. Anyway.
No, there's no Polarity enemies in that area. It's a whole dead zone.
Oh, you mean the Earth Splitter area?
No, I mean the there's a path
There's a
to,
path.
to the back of the top left shard.
The path.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Nothing
yeah,
hits
yeah.
you there.
The top left corner. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
But then that's only one shard. There are like 2 more shards in that area. Anyway,
Well, you can kind of do the same.
both of you guys are okay with D anyways. Let's put them in D. Prestige-wise, doesn't really matter. If you're D, just use whatever you like. They're all
No, I
bad.
think if you're not P3,
Really?
it's even worse.
It's even worse.
Because you need
Yeah,
you
you're
need supply.
you're not using 2.
Okay.
Everything else are supply.
So okay. if
and you're
you're
not
Raynor,
using
then-
1, right?
Okay, so you want to use the 3rd prestige if you want the least bad. Other prestige are worse. Okay, that's fair. So D it is. Stetboy, where do we have him?
Stetmann, P2. Gary doesn't really a super duper Gary doesn't cost supply. And realistically, you don't need like a bazillion lings to be following him. You just need a few in order to start giving him that added oil. So he can accomplish quite a bit. And being able to spread stet zones, especially into the dead space areas, allows you to get earlier vision on boom bots. And even just the stet zone, the satellites itself will be a target for boom bots to kind of waste their time. Sometimes they'll go ping-ponging back and forth. So I have Stetmann from S to A.
Okay. How about you, Twotuuu?
Pretty much the same. So he Super Gary does pretty much whatever you need. He does almost everything, and you just have a few links with hardened shields. And yeah, you can even like if you don't plan to make other units, you can just throw away your drones, give your allies some more supply, or yourself. I put him in A.
How about
Well,
the early game?
When
Isn't
you
the early game a
say
concern?
throw away your drones, just make static defense out of them at
Yeah,
least.
yeah, you could do that too.
How about the early game? Isn't that a concern?
If you are concerned about like lings, then you make banelings.
If you can get enough
Or-
supply. All right. So both
Usually
of you agree with A
for
anyway.
us-
I also have him in A. So let's put him in A. Second prestige, probably the only one for this mutation.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Stukov, where do we have him?
Stukov needs so much supply. Like P3 Stukov is good against Polarity and pretty good there against boombots because like if things blow up, it doesn't matter so much. Like they're free units. But he takes up so much supply that I can't see him as like really good. He's just okay.
Just okay.
So you can and you can also put overlords over dead space. So that's cool. I put him in C.
Okay. How about you, Eviling?
Yeah, for me, I have him from C to D. It's same concern. He takes up so much damn supply, and it's hard for him to get that early vision. I mean, yeah, you can get the overlords there, but it's gonna take a little effort to sneak them through to the right spots. One thing you can try. To be supply efficient and going after objective, infested liberators. If you can manage it and get like 5 to 8 of them, just send them around and start sniping the shards that are yours.
Okay.
You
So
just right click them while they're getting hit.
Right? Yeah. I mean, once they go into cloud form, they start taking a lot less damage.
Mhm.
okay.
So kind of like scourge sniping, but with infested liberators.
So letter.
I said C to D.
Okay, so both of you agree with C, so let's put him in C. Prestige-wise, so did you say third prestige?
Third
You
is
go-
better against Polarity.
2 of them.
Because it stalls.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Swann.
one is
Oh,
okay too.
Yeah. I
One
guess.
is if you're trying to go for the infested lips.
Swann. Where do we have him?
Swann. So I mentioned earlier, commander that you just need vision and he starts doing damage and he can kind of just sit back. But I mean, it's not recommended that he sits back, but he could, and he's still doing his share. Swann is the guy. I have him from SJ. Prestige 1 is usually better for Polarity since it's pretty constant, and if you're using concentrated beam or pulse cannon outside of P1, then it's like half as effective. So you're getting kind of screwed by using those abilities in some sense, but not entirely. But you can use P2 and make it work.
Sure.
No problem, because it's still concentrated and still
Contra beam,
pulse
but,
cannon.
You know, it takes out half the guys. So nice. How about you, Twotuuu?
I don't see him as very effective for taking out slivers. I mean the shards. I keep calling them slivers.
Because they
Too
are.
much sight of Amon. They are. Well, like he doesn't need a lot of supply, but you don't have much unless you know how to like get to the right spots to tower, like snipe
Tower
the,
push.
you don't even push. You just I guess it's kind of push, but you can like there are spots that you can teleport a Herc and drop SCVs and just build like 4 missile turrets. and the enemies or like the enemies that are nearby will just die. But
Kind of.
your ally has to be there. So sniping strat is not really reliable. Using the laser on the drill on the shard is really slow. So that's not good.
Laser on the drill. Oh my goodness. So letter.
I put him in B. So
B.
what I would do, what I would do is static defense at home, and then use concentrated beam on like every 3 minutes you'll clear all the stuff that's yours in an area, and then you keep like just move slowly clearing the map. You can teleport a Herc, use a pulse cannon whenever you can. So everything that you're responsible for is gone, and then you make like some wraiths or something to deal damage once the coast is clear.
Okay. What do you think, Eviling?
No, it's all the points that Twotuuu are definitely fair. I think it's going to be dependent upon who your ally is playing and how they are playing, which will dictate if P1 or P2 would be the better fit. So if you are partying with someone and have them voice chat, then definitely kind of coordinate a strategy and then pick the prestige that best suits it.
Okay. So what do you think? What letter?
I said SDA.
So you don't agree with B?
Yeah, as I said, the laser drill just it helps a lot with polarity. The one I was mentioning things that help any commander. One thing that Swann doesn't do too well is early spotting of the boom bots. He can float factories, but last time I checked, float factories take a while to get to where they need to be. So, I mean, you can build a Herc and load it up with SCVs and teleport it to an area that's close to a dead space, and build the factory near there and float it to its point there. But that's a little more clunky than needs to be. So yeah, not being able to get that early spotting. Okay, I can agree to B on that aspect.
Yeah. I also had Swann in B for what it's worth. Okay, let's put him in B. Tychus, where do we have him?
So Tychus, he might get supply capped, but you probably don't need more than 3 outlaws. Yeah, and at some point, if you really like, you have so much money and you can't get an outlaw, you just throw away 10 SCVs and buy an outlaw before your ally can react. Then, yeah,
Love it.
then
Love it.
unless they had stuff queued up, but yeah, Tychus. So
You throw away 10 SCVs and aha, let me kill an outlaw. Not enough minerals.
yeah, so Tychus, you can pretty much push with Tychus and Sirius that can defend or whatever's needed, and then Sam can snipe any shards that are yours once the things are gone. I put him in B. I put him in B.
Okay, what do you think, Eviling?
I have Tychus from A to B, Prestige 2, pretty much same thing. Yeah, you try to get away with 2 or 3 outlaws, and yeah, after that wreck Amon's face as best as you can.
Okay, so both of you have him in B?
Yes.
Okay, actually I had him in A, but both of you said B, so let's put him in B. Vorazun, where do we have him?
Vorazun, she has Shadow Guards, which take up no supply, and she has Time Stop, which makes more Shadow Guards and kind of nukes the area. So she has the ability to do stuff, but if you need a standing army, which you would need to deal with the attack waves, then she's gonna be put in a hard spot. She can manage it, and she has the CC to stop stuff that is attacking you that's not polarized, so via disruption web, via black hole. But yeah, it's an odd position. But the other good side is Time Stop is going to, if the Vorazun player is using Time Stop whenever it's off cooldown, they're essentially reducing the amount of boom bots that are available throughout the mission. So that's a nice thing.
Yeah, I guess it is nice.
B to C.
B to C. How about you, Twotuuu?
Shadow Guards from Time Stop will instantly kill an area, and because they can't hit half the stuff, they actually will only focus on your stuff. Like they'll focus on your stuff even more, because normally when you don't have polarity, they'll sometimes hit things that you don't want to hit rather than the shards. But then with polarity, you only hit your objective or like your enemies, so they're not going to be as distracted. She doesn't really have a good way to spot for boom bots earlier, aside from like hovering over like oracles. For defense, you could like have a bunch of cannons and then stasis ward or black hole or something. She does suck against air, so like if you're fighting air, then you make Corsairs and you make sure you have a black hole. Like you make sure you have enough energy for the black hole every wave, otherwise you'll be in some trouble. I put Vorazun in C for being a pretty supply-heavy commander.
He's okay, Eveling?
Oh, that's perfectly okay.
Okay, all of us have him in C. Unanimous. She only has one prestige, the third one. Zagara. Where do we have him?
Zagara is really cool because she seems like a supply-heavy commander, but ever since I learned that bio-launchers can hit 4 out of 10 shards, and yeah, you can hit so the top left shard
Knew
in
it.
the third area, you can deep tunnel if it's yours, and then the other two you can drop the left one, the bottom left one for sure you can hit from the natural. You just
Yes.
fly an overlord, drop creep, and then 3 bio-launchers will kill
Three
it.
bio-launchers.
If you take ESO Island, I think boombots will not see it unless like a air unit flies over and sees it.
Yes.
It's not the same as ESO. So I think you can kill the shard safely, and then you can also, it's a little bit risky, but you can shoot the one closest to the ramp and the far left one of the fourth area using
Wait. The one closest
using
to the ramp and the far left one in the fourth area. Okay, I get what.
Yes.
Just send the image, the screenshot to Zeus, my editor. He'll put that in.
Okay, there are only 4. Okay, the bottom
Ah,
left and the left one.
Well, seeing it is
ESO
different from
Island
hearing
and
about
build.
it.
Okay, so yeah, those can be hit by bio launchers as well, and then you can scourge the last one. One of like the last ones that you need to.
That's
One of those
Assuming
two
it's
will
yours.
be yours, and the other one will not. I put and Zagara herself does a lot of work, especially until it gets more difficult, and by that time you probably won't have a lot of supply, but you can make a lot of static defense at home for defense against attack waves. Plus, you have free banelings. I put her in B.
B. How about you, Eveling?
I have Zagara from A to B. Prestige number 3 allows her a deep tunnel, snipe, especially that top left shard that has that ramp, that walkway toward it, unhindered if it is yours. Bio launchers definitely get it on ESO Island toward the right hand side, so you can snipe the left or the one closest to the ramp if they're yours. And just one thing I would like to add, if by any chance, because remember Zagara is a 100 supply commander, so it's gonna makes things awkward to get enough supply for it. If she's short on supply, one thing you can do if you can't make the scourges to take out the shard, you can make a substitute scourge by
Corruptors?
get the ventral sacks for
Yes,
your overlords.
Yes,
and then
yes.
and because overlords don't cost any supply and your banelings are coming out for free. So
All right.
Oh, yes, that's really fun. That strat is really fun.
Okay,
Vomit.
so both of you have him in B?
Yes.
Okay. I actually had him lower because I didn't think of bio launchers, but there we go. Zeratul, where do we have him?
Zeratul, I think this is coming to a point. It's getting old, but
Cannon's
Cannon's good. S to A.
How
S
about
to
you?
A.
How about you, Tutu?
And
Wait,
his
yeah?
watchers cost no supply.
Yeah, even better. How about you, Tutu?
I was surprised Zeratul was mentioned as an example of a supply-heavy commander earlier, or like
Really?
alongside Nova. One of you mentioned it. I heard that. I'm like, okay, I don't think he does not need supply, for anything. His legions
Indeed,
don't
that's
use
great.
supply. His avatar doesn't use supply. His cannons don't use supply. His observers don't use supply. So he's A.
All right.
It's fine.
That's fine. Okay, unanimous A. I also have him in A. So, who's top of A? Zeratul.
Yeah, Zeratul.
Right?
Yes.
Second in A tier. Stetboy?
Stetmann, because he spreads Statelites to
Yeah.
see the boombots.
Stetboy. Then third.
Karax.
Say Arcturus.
Arcturus?
Well, no. That's Max. I guess if you
can stop
you
the
can
waves.
take the ESO spot. You can, that's right.
you
And
can-
if your allies on top of things, you can take ESO Island.
And you can stop the
it'll be
waves from
fine.
coming, so you can focus entirely
Yes.
on offense. All right, that works. Oh, offense and boombot defense. There we go. All right, then Karax last in A tier. Who is top of B?
Nova.
Nova, not Dehaka. I guess
Oh.
Creepers are supply intensive, but
Yes.
they seem safe for her.
I'd
It-
say
pack
well-
leaders-
Abathur because she
pack
can
leaders
be
are really
able to.
good.
I mean, I think Abathur because if he gets that
Abathur?
one brutalish, then he can have brutalish on every deep tunnel every 10 seconds to get an early vision on a boombot if needed.
Unless you deep tunnel on top of the boombot, then you get blown up.
Yeah, don't do that.
You won't die, I think. I think you won't die, but you'll be very red, and you don't want to do that again.
Yeah, don't deep tunnel away
you-
from it, please.
You'll probably deep tunnel to like the spot behind the second area near ESO Island, drop a Toxie Nest, and then turn off autocast, and then you can see forever, like afterwards.
You'll want to deep tunnel on top of the boombot once, so you learn your lesson and you never do it again. There we go. So, yeah.
I don't think
so,
that makes him better than
Yeah,
the
no, no, no.
Haka,
So,
though.
who's better? Who's better? Who's the best in B?
The
Dehaka?
Haka.
Yeah, I think Dehaka too. Dehaka. Pack Eater's really good. Consumes 0 supply. And Creeper Host, you can kind of chip away at the Void Shards. Eventually get rid of it. Who's second in B? Hot take? Maybe Tychus? Because he only need 2 Outlaws, really. Maybe a third would make it really good.
Tychus needs an ally that can provide vision if he's gonna do any sniping. Otherwise, he has to brute force it.
Well, if the ally is sniping, then that'll provide vision for Tychus's airlift.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If the ally is sniping,
If the ally is
if
forward
the ally
pushing.
cannot snipe,
If the ally cannot snipe, then that's good
Yeah.
for Tychus because he does push forward straightforwardly.
Yeah.
So is that the best in everyone in B though? I'm still looking at Nova, Abathur.
I think
Kerrigan.
Swann is better than Tychus.
Swann is better than Tychus? Could be. Could be. I think I
Laser
personally
drill. Come on.
disagree, but I see why. I see why you would say that. Personally disagree, but I see your point.
Definitely Tychus is better than Kerrigan in my opinion.
Better than Kerrigan.
Kerrigan's
Because
like
the early
near the
game.
bottom.
Near the bottom. Okay, so how about Dehaka or Abathur and Nova? Are they both better than Tychus, or is Tychus better than both of them?
Nova's really good because she gets to see
She gets to see
for free.
for free.
And
She has a-
she can nuke a lot. And because she can't, like, normally if you're getting an army and stuff, when you're getting an army, you're not going to have much money for airstrikes, but you might be supply capped at like 60, 70 because of your ally, right?
Yes.
So you're gonna probably have lots of money for airstrikes on top of your sabotage drones and stuff. You just need your liberators and airstrike a wave, and you probably have like some things. Oh, you can make missile turrets and the railgun turrets to pick up whatever you didn't kill, I suppose, whatever's left.
That actually makes her sound shakier. I think I might prefer a Tychus or a Swann over a Nova. She's really good at vision, not denying that. I'm just saying Tychus seems more solid.
Yeah, I
They're
can see
both
that.
gonna get supply blocked.
That's true, but Tychus is a very rock solid base. 2 of them, in fact. Tychus and Sirius.
Oh, there's the thing that if you lose an outlaw and then you get supply block, you can't rebuild it, right?
Oh, you can't? Oh my goodness. Then you can't. So that almost makes him like a B star. You can't lose the outlaw.
So that means you just don't lose them, right?
Yeah,
you
just don't
can't
lose
lose
them.
them.
Yeah, just like Kerrigan.
Well, you can lose.
Don't lose him.
Kerrigan, you'll be delayed. As long as you have
I think
Omega
you-
Orbs, you'll only be delayed, I think.
It could cost you the game.
Okay, so who's second in B? Dehaka's unanimous top of B. Who's second in B? So Kerrigan near the bottom. Zagara near the bottom.
Zagara's pretty good, I
Pretty
think.
good. Okay.
Yep, I
Because
agree.
because of bio launcher sniping, and yeah, the second
because
base
of
isn't
launchers.
that tough.
Okay. So
yeah.
who's second in B?
I put Nova.
Nova? I don't know about that. Tychus seems more solid, but I can see the thing about getting supply blocked if you lose Tychus or Sirius or Crooked Sam. What do you think, Eviling? Who's second in B?
Nova, I think would be second just because we're a little more experienced with how her intricacies. Tychus is more straightforward, so I would say that's better for, I guess, the audience that we're catering this tier list to.
Okay, so you're saying Tychus second in B? Yes or no?
I don't know who you're
Just
asking.
looking at the rest
list.
of the. Actually, to me, Swann
you.
P1 would be
Swann
more.
P1.
It's more straightforward than Tychus.
Okay, we can put
Well,
the 3 of them in a tie. A second in B.
If you're using Swann P1, what's the objective damage? What damage is the objective?
Partially laser
Turrets!
drill to clear. No, not turrets. Probably I would
Not
say
with that attitude.
if it's Swann P1, go with at least eight wraiths.
I guess the
That's
saving grace of
assuming, like,
Swann is you're technically not going to be supply capped. You can make as many wraiths as your ally would allow you.
Yep.
So that's Swann saving grace. Whereas with Nova, if your ally is in Arcturus and he just happens to make Earth Splitter so fast, you can get supply block really fast.
Yep.
Well, if your ally keeps doing that, then they don't want to win.
That's
So
true.
you tell them.
That's true.
You tell them we can't win unless you give me some stuff.
I agree with you. I agree with you
Allow-
100%. The thing is, ally might not understand that regardless.
Yeah, sharing and carrying is a pain.
It is a pain. That's true. It's not a mutator that comes up very frequently. So you can't really expect people in the solo queue to understand how it works. They see number go up, so they make more units. Number go up be good.
And I think that's another reason why it justifies Dehaka as top of B, because he already starts off
Wouldn't that also
not
justify
having to build any
Abathur
supply.
being high in B? Because ultimate evolutions are a really good anchor.
Mhm.
How about the case
Okay.
for
But
Abathur?
it's Abathur. I mean, not the most straightforward commander for a lot of people.
Not the most. Yeah,
So-
early game is a pain, regardless of how well you play, because you're dependent on your ally for some of your biomass.
So that's why I'm.
You don't need to rush Brutalist though. Like you can move a drone out to dump a toxic nest and then turn off the autocast so that you can spot boombots.
Okay.
One on the left, one on the right, and then one in the middle. Then that's enough. Then
Okay.
you don't need to rush brutalists on this map because there aren't void rifts. So I think Abathur is actually pretty good. I do think at some point you'll need leviathans to actually
agree.
attack though.
I agree. Leviathans, they don't get hit by siege tanks, immortals.
And they're
PTSD
chunky.
from
You
the
probably actually just want one brutalist and the rest go into air units.
Leviathans?
Might be even better.
might actually be even better actually. Yeah,
Yep.
I think that's an okay argument. So anyway, is Abathur second in B?
Yes, I think so now.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
Who's third?
I like the justification. Yeah.
Who's third?
Third.
Now that we're talking about solid bases, how about Kerrigan? She can also have Omega Worms, aside from the hero unit. The only thing to shake is the early game.
I think
early game
Kerrigan's-
sucks. Not really.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I can't vouch for Kerrigan being third.
Okay, so
I
we're
don't
once again back to Nova, Swann, Tychus.
Yeah, all those three are better than Kerrigan in my opinion.
Okay, I can put
Yes.
Kerrigan down. Okay, how about Zagara? Zagara better than Kerrigan.
Yes.
Yes,
Zagara better
absolutely.
than Tychus.
I don't think Zagara's
Zagara better than
Tychus.
Swann.
Well, there's also a thing about like Tychus sniping is dangerous because boombots can spawn near Sam, like when you're back there.
Oh, that's
Um,
true. But you mentioned last time Blue Boss was like, just memorize the timing or have the timing on a sheet of paper taped to your screen.
And yeah, you can do that. And then at the same time, you're like saying people don't do all these other
I know.
things that they should do.
I know. I'm just
So-
finding it funny that now you're saying that that's a possibility and that people don't do it when it's convenient for your argument. I'm agreeing with you.
I didn't
but
say that. I said it's a reason why he's not as good. Because
I
in
agree.
other maps, you don't have to snipe.
I agree with
This
that, by the
one, you're
way.
sniping.
I completely agree with that. This is hard. We can
Especially
call
if
it
it's
a
a
tie.
building. If it's a building that you can't kill, like for other
That's
boombots,
true,
the previous
actually.
one you can kill the building near you. This one you have a building you can't kill. He
You
can spawn
can't
from
destroy it.
there.
The good news is,
Yeah.
I would say the probability is low because there's a whole massive building at the second bonus and at the last area. Like, there's a 1/3 chance that it even spawns in the base you're in.
Yeah, and then your Sam dies when you don't want him. He gets supply block. You can't rebuild him.
That's true.
Then
That's true. I guess what you can do is just whenever the timer is close, you just airlift them. So you need to make sure that you have an airlift available. Anyway, so
I'd say let's just do a tie between Nova, Zagara,
Swann.
and Tychus, or Swann and Tychus.
Nova, Swann, and
And
Tychus.
then-
Then
okay.
Zagara, then Kerrigan. All right, I'm okay with that.
yeah.
In that order. Who's top of C? Or maybe Phoenix.
I would say I would actually lean more toward Artanis because power field you can warp it in a convenient spot if ally is sniping.
I like sniping. You want Tempests, not dragoons.
Yeah, but if like Tempests are super damn slow, so if ally is sniping and it's like, oh, okay, you're over here, I can just start warping the Tempest at this point and start doing work rather than
Yes.
trying to fly all the way in from your base or wherever it is.
He's gonna be guilty of supply hogging a lot because there's nothing stopping him from building more stuff until you're around like 190 something, and then you realize my army's not that big.
Sure.
Massive zealots, yeah. Artanis things.
Realistically, how many Tempests do you need?
You don't need that many. You need like if you have like 8, that's more than enough.
That's a lot. They consume like
Yeah,
4
I was
supply each,
thinking
right?
more to five to six because
You don't need
I mean,
eight.
only
You don't
you only
need
can
eight.
get this. You only can get disintegrate off of one. So while it runs the whole duration, I mean, yeah.
How about Phoenix though? You can still do sniping technically, and you can do frontal pushing. And I think you only really need 3 or 4 champions, and then you can even use a dragoon suit or predator suit on attack waves. So you only have to worry about offense and boom bots. Then again, it might be supply heavy, so that's a point against it. But then again, that's why we're in C.
Mhm.
They're all supply heavy.
They're all supply heavy.
Yeah.
How about
I feel like-
Alarak though? I don't think Ascendant is that supply heavy. If you get like 4
It's
of them.
not, but keeping them alive against Polarity is not an easy deal.
Good point. Then again, we are in C tier, and we're comparing Alarak to guys like Artanis, Phoenix, Stukov, Vorazun. So maybe
would
that's
put
not such a big deal. You
I'll
think
put
Stukov?
Stukov at the bottom.
Bottom? Okay. Are you okay with that?
Because you need like a
Evelyn?
critical mass
Yep.
to get a lot
Yep.
done.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no,
Stukov
I
at the
agree.
bottom.
You know how I feel about Stukov. I don't mind him being at the bottom.
Take that out of context. Okay. Who's okay? So we have 4 Protoss with kind of different styles at sea. Kind of different
Yeah.
styles. Alarak hero based, Artanis Tempest based, or air based.
Yeah, the good thing about Tempest is that if a boombot spawns nearby, you're not going to get hit
can fly
because
away.
you're not going to be close.
That's true.
And if it does happen to spawn right next to your Tempest, you do have a shield overcharge if it's off cooldown ready.
I vote Artanis and Phoenix to be top of C, like in any order, because Observer Siege is really good against boombots.
Yes.
Yep, I don't
That's-
disagree.
Yes.
Yep,
Yes.
let's
yes.
do it.
So we can even call them a tie if you guys like.
I think Phoenix might. Well, Phoenix. I guess if you're not a sniping, like if your ally's not sniping, then Artanis can also just siege the middle, but it's just slower.
Okay.
I think solar bombardment on a shard is really good. Like
If it's
instant
yours.
death. Yeah, if it's yours.
Yep.
But like in each area, you normally use solar bombardment on one shard anyways.
Okay. So Artanis top of
Yeah,
C.
yeah. I think
then-
Artanis is better.
And then Phoenix.
And
then
then Alarak, then Vorazun.
Then Stukov. Are you okay with that, Eveling?
Yeah.
So we're saying
Artanis, Phoenix.
Vorazun's at the bottom,
Second to the bottom. just
second to the bottom.
just above Stukov.
Is Vorazun really worse than Alarak?
Yeah, I think
Because
she
once
is
time stopper
entirely.
goes off, she
That's true.
she
though.
kind of just nukes the whole area pretty much.
Well, not
So-
the whole
That's
area,
true.
half the area.
Yeah, half the area.
The site you're responsible.
She takes a
Yeah.
long while to come online because she doesn't have a real hero. She has temporary heroes. She doesn't have overcharge. She doesn't have mothership. She doesn't have hero. And she needs a pylon for everything. Though she does have dark pylon, so that's one thing in her favor. And she needs to tech up so heavily before she gets
Yes.
anything that's worth anything.
The good thing about
Okay.
late game is that you can time your time stop to clear a wave and clear the sliver area, shard area, and then teleport back and then kill the wave.
That's true. Probably also need to learn that skill. Anyway.
There's no
Alright,
skill. It's
I
F2.
mean,
Okay, so
Yeah,
does
if-
Han and
if
Horner
you say-
deserve a promotion to C, like below Stukov, or are they a whole tier worse than Stukov?
I think Han and Horde is better than way better than Stukov for
Way
this
better than
mutation.
Stukov?
They're just tack jump is I mean, Stukov has siege tank deep tunnel if that's
Does-
any consolation.
Does Calm the
but-
Fleet no longer hit polarity stuff?
I think it was patched.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't hit polarity stuff, it's actually good, like really good.
Yep, because
you
it
clear-
focuses on what
Yeah,
it
it
was
just hits
patched.
what you need to hit down. Then you can take out a
I think it
whole-
was patched with the Hyperion.
Yeah, but
So-
curiously, I
if-
think the Magmites still aren't patched. They still hit
'Cause
polarity stuff.
If Calm the Fleet can kill like pretty much an entire shard by yourself, that's really good. It's like a solar bombardment, pretty much.
Kind of.
Mhm.
I mean, okay. So do we move him up to
I-
C tier?
I think if because I don't remember if that's the case or not, but
We
if
can
that is
test
the
it.
case, I would say they're better.
We can test it.
Then they have like reliable top bar.
Do you guys want to test it?
And not right now.
Not right now. All right, let's just pretend that we did.
Tired, cold, and hungry.
Nobody's gonna call us out because we're pretty much the only guys who are willing to test this stuff anyway. You can
And
believe
plus,
it.
this is
no
gonna
one-
be and what this is gonna be released like 4 weeks later, so we got time to test it between there. So
2 weeks later.
2 weeks later, okay?
Yeah.
So I'll test
Okay.
it during the weekend.
So we move Han and Horner to C tier and just move him down if it's
Yeah.
not true. Okay. Okay, Raynor all alone in D tier. There we go. Guys,
Yeah.
this is our tier list. Do we have any synergies of like B guys and below I guess again, voice chat is S tier, so combine any commanders and they would be S tier pretty much. Yeah. As long as you have voice chat is probably the most critical thing here. Well, guys, watch Twotuu's channel. I will link it down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Again, thank you for watching the video. Thank you for dropping comments, dropping likes, all that stuff. Thank you guys.